Hey guys, it's Kristen. I'm starting up my cooking videos once again. Just a quick disclaimer, I am not a professional cook, nor do I claim to be. I'm just a mom that wants to help other moms make something quick and easy for their family, and that is delicious as well. So today I'm going to be making a really yummy meatloaf. I know meatloaf isn't always everybody's favorite, but I guarantee you, you guys will love this. So here's a list of ingredients to get that started. You'll need 1 cup of milk, 2 pounds of hamburger, 1.5 cups of ketchup, 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned salt, a teaspoon of parsley, a teaspoon of dry mustard, and a teaspoon of house seasoning, 4 to 5 shakes of hot sauce, 10 strips of bacon, 4 whole eggs, cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 6 slices of white bread. You'll need 2 large bowls, a measuring cup and a whisk, a 1/4 teaspoon, a teaspoon, 1/3 cup, half a cup, and a cup, a cheese grater, and 2 baking sheets covered in tin foil for easy cleanup. Okay, now that you have your list of ingredients, we're going to start. In this bowl, I have the 1 cup of milk, and we're going to add 6 pieces of bread. I know that seems really strange, but this is what's going to make your meatloaf really moist. I know, I said the word, but that's what you want for your meatloaf. You do not want a dry meatloaf. So just break it up, little pieces like this. And we'll let it soak while we're putting the rest of the ingredients together. You don't need it in there really long, but enough to soak up all the milk. It should look like that. Yeah. We're gonna add our hamburger, 2 pounds of hamburger. Open this up. This for me is like organic grass-fed beef, but you can get whatever hamburger you want. So 2 pounds of this. So I'm gonna mush this all together. It's okay. I know sometimes they tell you not to work hamburger a lot because it will make it tough. But in this case, we really need to make it a little bit because we're gonna be adding a lot of ingredients. So we need to mush this up. So to this, we're gonna add 4 eggs, full eggs. We're gonna add a cup of Parmesan cheese that's been shredded. Okay, and now for our spices. In here I have a teaspoon of parsley, a 1/4 teaspoon of seasoned salt, and what I call my house seasoning. So we're gonna put this in, and when I talk about my house seasoning in this video or other ones, it's a combination of 1 cup salt, 1/4 cup of garlic powder, and 1/4 cup of ground pepper. And I mix it all together and I put this on everything. Chicken, steaks, hamburgers, whatever. And I use it pretty much whenever it's called for salt or pepper. So I've added a teaspoon of that into this as well. And so now what we're gonna do is add our bread now because it looks like it's all soaked up, the milk. And all we have left to do with this is mush it all together. Okay, it's gonna take a few minutes to really incorporate all this. The sound is absolutely disgusting, but the flavor is gonna be great. It's almost done and incorporated. Just make sure when you do it that you make sure the pieces of bread is really like kind of incorporated in there because you don't want chunks of the bread in your meatloaf, okay? So now we're gonna get ready to put our meatloaf on our pan. Make sure you have a sheet pan covered with tin foil because you're not gonna wanna scrape this off at the end of the night. I'm a lazy cook, so I want easy cleanup. We're just gonna kinda mold it into a loaf type of shape. This. You don't want it too like thick because it's gonna take like forever to cook. Okay, that looks pretty good and even. See that? As you can see, this is quite a big hunk of meatloaf. So you certainly can cut this recipe in half and freeze the other half if you want, or cook both halves and freeze it. So I'm just, for the ease of cooking, we're gonna kind of separate this just a little bit and make like 2 loaves. These will be great like meatloaf sandwiches. I mean, bring one to your neighbor or just cook half the recipe. So next we're gonna make the sauce that's gonna go on top of the meatloaf. So for me, it's just easiest to do this. We're gonna need 1.5 cups of ketchup. Need 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Kind of packed brown sugar. A teaspoon of mustard, dry mustard. And a couple shots of hot sauce. If you like hot stuff, you can. It's not like extremely hot, but we kind of get it. So we're just gonna mix this together. It's basically almost like a barbecue sauce, but a little sweeter, I think. Okay. All you need for that. And we're gonna take this sauce and we're gonna just put some of it on here. Don't touch the meat with this because you're gonna use this to actually eat it after. So don't touch your spoon. This. And just kind of rub it on. Get it all coated up good. And this will keep the moisture in as well and really flavor all of the meat. Keep this for later. So now we're gonna wrap bacon around the meatloaf. I don't really like to put it underneath because I cannot stand uncooked bacon. I think it's disgusting, but that's totally up to you, however you like your bacon. So I'm just gonna stop it right at the end of each one. So cover it, have no like space, because this also is gonna hold in moisture as well. So just keep wrapping it as you can. So now that we have the bacon all wrapped on, like I said before, I like really crispy bacon that might not bother you at all. So for me, because I like crispy bacon, I'm gonna add just a teeny bit of some olive oil just on top of the bacon, just a little bit, just so it will get crispy. If crispy bacon does not bother you, you can skip this step. So what we're gonna do is throw this in the oven at 350 for 45 minutes to an hour. And we'll come back and look at this when it's finished. This has been cooking for 45 minutes. To me, the bacon is not crispy enough. The temperature is good for beef, but I am going to still put it in for another 10-15 minutes to crisp this up. Then we're gonna put the sauce back on, put it under the broiler, and then it'll be done. Okay, a quick little side dish to go with your meatloaf would be a bag of asparagus, house seasoning I talked about earlier, a little bit of olive oil, and a sheet pan with tinfoil. So I'm not sure about this bag of asparagus, but most asparagus, you need to cut the ends because they're really tough. So one way to do that is to snap it where it wants to snap. And then, like, see, that one's really woody, you can tell, okay? So the tops are the best anyway to me. So we're just gonna even them out and pretty much just cut them where you see it, like that. Okay, our asparagus is now cut. So we're gonna put this on our pan, lay it all out. Take a little bit of olive oil. If you need measurements, just take like the cap, fill it up, and sprinkle. You don't want a ton. You don't want these to be greasy. You just want them to have a little bit. Sprinkle with your house seasoning, and then just mix it all together. Make sure everybody gets a good coating. We're gonna throw these in the oven at 450 for about 15-20 minutes. At the same time, if you want to add a little macaroni and cheese. Get a real good box of macaroni and cheese. This takes about 11 to 12 minutes and everything will be done at the same time. Okay, so I just took the meatloaf out of the broiler. It took me 5 minutes, not 15. So when you put yours into the broiler, please watch it because it could get overbroiled. So we're gonna cut this and we're gonna start plating our meatloaf. Look how beautiful this is. Also, while I was broiling the meatloaf, oops, as I was broiling the meatloaf, I threw in our asparagus for the 15 minutes. So the asparagus looks really good. And just made a simple little box macaroni and cheese to go with your meatloaf meal. And then we're just gonna simply put a little bit of our leftover sauce over our meatloaf. And there you go. Hope you enjoy.
Good.
This is really good, guys. Really moist, not dry, and nice tangy with the sauce, and really good with the saltiness of the bacon. I really hope you try it.